I'm going to compare these two different Lisle brake pad spreaders. The one you see here on the right is a Lisle 29100. It's called the Quick Quad Pad Spreader. The one over here to your left is the Lisle 25750 dual piston brake pad spreader. These two brake pad spreaders use the same principle as your high-end caulking guns to push forward the rod that will do the work. I'm going to take a look at the 29100 first, which Lisle says you can actually do while the caliper is on the rotor of the vehicle. At first glance, you can see this thing is built pretty damn robust. Everything appears to be made out of steel except for the handle area here. The back and the front are, the gray area is an aluminum, and everything else is steel. Here you see the thickness of both spreader pads. The thickness of the material, the metal that links the two pads that pushes up against. And the diameter of the rod that goes through, that everything's anchored to. I'm going to give it a try here on this caliper that is actually made for a Honda CR-V 2014 model year. As you can see, this sits up off of the caliper, not in line, so that's one of the reasons why you can use this on the vehicle. I got to tell you, that took quite a bit of effort, and this is on a brand new caliper, and with the brake bleeder line open, so that took a little bit of effort. And I'm not sure if that's why, or the reason, because this is offset, because the piston isn't pushing in line. You're actually offset that amount from the center line of the force. So, you know, it did the job, but it took a little bit of effort. And if you had some used calipers that might be a little tight, I'm not sure how well that would work. Next up, we're going to examine the number 25750 dual piston brake pad spreader. Now this has the exact same type of construction as the last one we looked at, but the force is going to be in line that you see here. It'll be straight across, in line with the motion here. Materials, again, aluminum for the gray frame and handle area, steel for everything else. But now this section here, this matte finish material here, it appears to be an aluminum. Kind of interesting why that wasn't steel. Obviously it should work. It's in line. All the force is going through it. But it's an aluminum material. Here you see the thickness of that pad that pushes up against your pistons. The diameter of those two rods that connect the pad to the back mechanism. And here we have the thickness of that very heavy piece, that bracket that would push against the housing of your caliper opposite the piston. And the center rod that has all the force pushing the spreader. So let's give this a try. Now, as to be expected, this was a whole lot easier to use than the last one. Yeah, I like this one a lot better. With that force going straight through the center line, made it so much easier. With the last one, obviously it has its place at being up high off the center line, being up here, and you're pushing against something that's off. Your force isn't going to be as good, and you're going to be kind of pushing in at the top, at the parts that are loose. You're going to be pushing in on them when the force is going through here. This worked a whole lot better. I can definitely see that this would be the one that I would use, because with this one, here's the center line of the force, and you're way up in here. And when you've got to really push on it to push them pistons in, especially when they've been used, I can see where it's going to take a lot of effort, and because you're actually squeezing up here, putting more forces back here against it. But I'm sure this has a place, and like I said, I just thought in this particular case, with the caliper off the vehicle, that other one works much better. Now, the reason I bought these two was I wasn't quite sure which one I would need, and if my vehicle, I'm going to be doing the brakes on it soon, and so I'm the kind of guy, I'd rather have the tool here, and whatever one I use, it's not a big deal. If I don't use the one, I'm still saving money by doing the work myself, so the investment in the tool was not a big issue. But I thought I would just do this demonstration for you guys so you can kind of see what the two differences are and how they operated.